Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Please feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any questions regarding to this video or any other videos that I have posted in the past. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. My neighbor Sally loves salmon, but she rarely cooks salmon because in the past she have tried different ways. She would grill it, she would pan fry it, or bake it, but each time it come out to be disappointed. And the salmon often come out to be too dry or it is overcooked. And when you consider the salmon is at $10 a pound, she thought that's a terrible cost mistake for her to make. So she will only eat salmon when she is eating out. But that was also not totally satisfactory. In fact, that's exactly what happened in my wife's case. So over the years, I have worked out what I call perhaps the perfect way to cook salmon. And this involves cooking salmon in the wok. In this video, I would like to describe to you how this approach works and what are the reasons why I think it's probably the best way to cook salmon. And you can decide whether this is something will work for you or not. When you look around, there are many different ways to cook salmon. But perhaps the best way to cook salmon is to create a somewhat, I would call it a slightly crispy outer texture, but the inside of the salmon remained to be moist and tender. And using the pan frying is probably one of the best way to cook salmon. However, pan frying has one problem, is that because a lot of times the salmon pieces come in different thickness. For example, in one part of the salmon, it might be very thin toward the edge, whereas the center part of the salmon tend to be thick. So when you pan fry it, it is important for you to make sure that all part of the salmon is cooked pretty much evenly. Now, but if it comes in different thickness, it will be difficult to do. And also, when you pan fry the entire piece of salmon, it takes time, and usually it will take somewhere between about 5 to 10 minutes to pan fry it. However, I have developed a method that will allow you to not only cook all the pieces as evenly as possible, but it is also the fastest way for you to cook salmon. Now, in this video, I would like to give you some tips of how to use the method that I use for cooking salmon. The method is basically a pan frying method, but with a modification is that the salmons are cut into different pieces. Okay. The first thing you need to do is that you need to heat up the wok as hot as possible. As you can see that now the oil is start to smoke, means that it has reached the highest temperature you can with the oil. And in this case, the important thing is that you cut the salmon into small pieces according to their thickness. So, for example, all of these salmons has about the same thickness. And another important thing is that in order to make the salmon taste the kind of flavor that I like, I leave the skin on. And most of the time when you purchase salmon, they do have the skin on already. So here you can see these 4 pieces of salmon, they are all about the same in terms of thickness. So I can able to cook them in about similar amount of time. Now, and then I'm going to put additional 3 pieces of salmon. Now, you probably noticed that these 3 pieces of salmon is different in coloration as compared to the 4 pieces of salmon I laid down first. What I have here is 2 kinds of salmon, and which I want to demonstrate to you. In terms of the application of this method, you can cook using different kind of salmon. So the first 4 pieces of salmon that I put down in this wok is the Atlantic salmon. They are farm raised, and this usually are the type of salmon that you find in most supermarkets. And these salmon are fresh and they have never been frozen. It's very important that you purchase a salmon that has never been frozen in order for the best quality. Salmon do not freeze very well. So anytime when you buy salmon that are frozen, the quality will be compromised. Now the 3 other pieces of salmon which has a brighter red color or orange color is the salmon that's known as the cohort salmon. Now cohort salmon is a Pacific salmon and they are wild caught. So they're quite different in texture as well. So as you can see in here is that this is in real time. As you can see, I have been cooking them for about a little bit over a minute. you can see I turn around and I look at the back of the salmon. The skin has been fried, in fact, has been blackened in a black color. Now, this actually turned out to be really a great way to eat the salmon because it provides the salmon a nice crispy texture. So, as you can see, the thick pieces take a little bit longer to cook, and you can see the part of while it cooks up to the level. Now I turn the pieces in such a way so I can fry the other side, which will take much shorter time to fry. What I'm doing is that I basically searing the salmon from all sides, and when you sear the salmon like this, it has a tremendous advantage is that it allows you to seal in the flavor. And of course, later on when you want to stir fry it, it also will hold up together without breaking apart. So using this method, you can actually allow you to sear all sides of the salmon to give it a really wonderful flavor and texture. Now, my wife loves salmon, and this is the reason I work on this procedure, and she loves the salmon when it is seared on the side. But if you cook the whole piece in salmon as it is, there's no way you can sear it. But with this method, you can actually control how you cook each individual pieces of the salmon. Now, you might ask, would it affect the quality of the salmon? Would it make it more dry, perhaps, because you don't have the whole piece? In fact, it's just the opposite. This way, you can keep the pieces very moist, exactly how you would if you have been cooking the entire piece of salmon. So, as you can see that the cohort salmon, which is the smaller ones on the other side, are pretty much done. So, there are a couple of ways you can deal with this situation. The first way is that I'm going to now to fry each one of them to the texture that I want or the doneness that I want. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to set them aside so that I'm going to incorporate them back into a stir-fry dish later on. Now, there are a different approach, which I will show you in the next part of the video, is that you can stir-fry them with other ingredients at the same time. Now, this method, which I'm using here now, gives you much better control in terms of the doneness of each individual pieces of salmon. So from that standpoint, there is a tremendous advantage. So now they're done. And of course, you can always do a taste test, make sure that the inside is done the way how you want it to be. And using this method, you can truly control exactly how much doneness you want with each piece of the salmon. So here I have a vegetable shrimp chow mein. And as you can see, I cooked it separately. In fact, I cooked it right after I finished cooking the salmon. I used the oil that left in the wok, which actually is a lot of oil, came from the salmon. They are rich in omega-3 fatty acid, which is the nutritional component that is beneficial. And so I can now incorporate them together. Now, in the second part of this video, I'm going to show you how you can cook the salmon actually stir-fry with other ingredients together. So in this case, the salmon that I have in the wok is Atlantic salmon, and I have been cooked to them probably about 70 to 80% done. So now I'm going to stir-fry with other ingredients together, and one ingredient I'm going to use is some portobello mushroom. Now, portobello mushroom is excellent for this purpose because they are ready to absorb any oil that the salmon might have released during the frying process. And this actually incorporated the oil into the mushroom. It makes them taste really great. So I'm just going to leave the mushroom kind of on top of the salmon because I'm going to let the salmon to finish to be cooked. And then I'm going to add some just snow peas. Now, the snow peas is also excellent for this dish because snow peas do not require much of a cooking time. So whenever the time that I've needed to finish cooking the salmon, it will allow me to finish cooking all the other ingredients. And this is followed by some asparagus, and that is for the same purpose. Okay, now I switch to my wok spatula. And somebody asked me the question that will the salmon pieces breaking up? As you can see, the salmon pieces will not break up at all. And also, even if the salmon pieces without the skin will also stay intact because when you seal the salmon with or without skin, it will hold the pieces together. Of course, you do not want to stir fry it too hot. And then I add some scallions as a garnish to the salmon. So now the salmon is pretty much done. And next, I'm adding some Shaoxing cooking wine. This obviously a step that's totally optional. You don't have to add any wine at all. The salmon already have great flavor. I use the wine as almost like a fluid to spot clean the wok, to remove any ingredients that might stuck to the bottom surface of the wok, basically to return the flavor back to the dish. The dish is all ready, but you can season a little bit further. In this case, I'm going to just add a touch of oyster sauce, and the oyster sauce will enhance the flavor of the salmon as well as other vegetable as well. And then I add some additional hoisin sauce. Again, at this part, you can pretty much do whatever you would like, and your flavor preference will help guide you which way you want to go. So this is one way you can stir fry the salmon with a vegetable that can cook quickly, and this provides you with another option. So hopefully this video helped you to develop a better appreciation of how you can cook salmon in small pieces, which is the most efficient way and give you the greatest control in terms of the texture and the doneness of the salmon. And the end result is that you will create a salmon exactly how you like it. So I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine. And if you'd like to learn more about my fast cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking, and I will see you tomorrow.